be querying the debt to revenue ratio for all the county governments. Because we put it there, we put it at 20%. We are questioning the national debt to revenue ratio, but we are not questioning the county debt to revenue ratio. In fact, I think if we put all that in totality, we'll realize that Kenya is doing very badly. So maybe in this year's audit, Patrick, please tell all your regional directors to report on that particular metric.
Well, good, Chair.
So we will look at this in greater detail in the coming financial year. Due to limitations of time, we can leave that matter on trade payables and perhaps deal with one other matter on the executive. And maybe just to illustrate what I'm saying about debt to revenue ratio, there are also other ratios that have been queried there in your report. Development expenditure threshold, which do not look very good. Your employee costs to total revenue is almost 50%, isn't it, Governor?
About 40.
Because I can see you are spending 4 billion on employees out of a revenue of 8 billion. So that's 50%.
Yeah, it's still not very tidy. It's not 50%, but it requires to be worked out.
What you're putting in development is only 22% of the total expenditure.
Chair, I know development is supposed to be 30%, and we should be able to work that one out.
Okay, we'll look at how those ratios perform in the coming audit. We were asking ourselves whether the county government headquarters complex is complete now.
Chair, that's a very long story.
So, if it is a long story, let's shorten it by looking at the specific
Chair,
issue raised by the Auditor General.
No answer. If a building is complete, it's complete, Governor.
Sorry, Chair?
If a building is complete, it's complete. It's a question of fact. I mean, it's a yes or no answer.
It is no.
So it's not complete.
We have even terminated the contract. That's why I'm saying it is a long story.
I think let's deal with it. It's worth dealing with because it's a matter of 492 million. That's quite significant. That 492 million could have settled the debt over 3 years that we have just seen in the other matter. Auditor General, read your finding.
Thank you, Chair. Delayed construction of county government headquarters complex. The county executive awarded a contract for the construction of the county government of Kajiado headquarters complex at a contract sum of Kenya shillings 492,646,852. The contract agreement was signed on 20th June 2024, and the contract was to be implemented within 104 weeks, commencing 15th November 2024 to 15th November 2026. Documents reviewed revealed that the contractor was paid Kenya shillings 98,529,370, being an advance amount paid at the rate of 20% of the contract sum. Procurement documents revealed that the project consultant by letter number SDS CGK/06/25 of 17th March 2025 had raised concerns in relation to delayed works. The letter noted that as of 13th February 2025, with 4 months, 16 weeks of the contract period lapsed, only 2% of the total works had been accomplished, signaling delayed works and the need for revision of the work plan. Management explained that the delay in execution of the works by the contractor was occasioned by site challenges which were raised by the contractor, and that the consultant issued instructions to the contractor to proceed with works as the challenges had been resolved. However, project inspection by the audit team in May 2025 revealed that there were no works going on as the contractor had abandoned the project. In addition, the foundation works were not completed and heaps of metallic materials for Binding works and erection of pillars were left lying all over the site. In the circumstances, contract management was not effective and could lead to substantial losses. Thank you, Chair.
Governor?
Thank you, Chair. Chair,
That is page
this page 29.
29.
Page 29, that's the response. The other, what she was reading is in page 28. Chair, I wish to respond that the delays in the execution of the works by the contractor was occasioned by site challenges which were raised by the contractor but had not been fully addressed by the consultant as it involved possible design alteration and change in quantities of work to be done. In response to a letter by the contractor dated 22nd May 2025, the CCM for Roads and Public Works convened a joint meeting between all relevant county departments, the consultant, and the contractor. The CCM for Roads also officially appointed a contract implementation working group that was charged to oversee the seamless implementation of the project. The meeting resolved to carry out joint measurements and come up with a solution to the substructure works challenge. Following the conclusion of the exercise by the CCM Roads, a letter was issued on 23rd June 2025 to the consultant informing them of the resolution of the contract implementation working group. The consultant issued instructions to the contractor to proceed with works as the matter had been resolved. The contractor failed to honor instructions to go back to site, which necessitated the management to initiate a termination process since the contractor violated the terms agreed by the parties during contracting. A letter was issued by the Ministry of Roads and a litigation case against the contractor, and therefore a termination letter was issued to the contractor. We have annexures, I think this is 15, showing performance security guarantee that actually was the basis for the payment of the 98 million, and that advance payment guarantee renewal. The Chief Officer for Roads and Public Works instructions to the contractor, a letter appointing contract implementation working group, instruction letter to the substructure works, the information we are raising there. We are showing that the conversation we have had there has all been procedurally done. Unfortunately, we now have terminated that, and the next phase will be to see then how to bring the whole issue to a closure, assess the works done, the money payment, and see how to, if the work done is more than the money that was paid. And because there were also guarantees in the bank, we see to it that we don't lose any money in the process. I wish to submit this, Chairman.
So, Governor, you have paid 20%, but only 2% is done.
That is the question of measurement we referred earlier on there to determine the measurement of really what has been done. But remember, there was this bond, that guarantees that the bank secure the county money that is to be spent.
Chair, in that explanation that the governor has given, it's quite confusing, Governor. Do these consultants and the contractors visit sites prior to bidding for projects? And number two, this language we are using, both of the auditor and yourself, it doesn't paint a picture of what those challenges were.
Yeah,
because
it's very technical.
Yeah. It's just technical language. I mean, does somebody visit a site, a proposed site, before they do a bid? Or you just bid, then you realize that the proposed site is inside Lake, what is that lake in Ambose? Lake Magadi. And then you have to clear the salt first. I mean, it doesn't make any sense, Governor. What is the process?
Yes, Governor?
Let me ask the head of procurement with us here to in a very summarized way to show that procurement.
Let him just explain, number one, whether the bidders or even the consultants and the county government themselves go to the site before they do the tendering, and number two, what those challenges were in layman's terms, so that your regular Masai.
Thank you, Chair. The requirement for bidding in the bid documents that we instructed all the bidders to visit site, and there was a site visit before the bidders submitted their bids. And they actually visited the site before they submitted their bids.
So what is this arising about site challenges which require alterations?
That is the issue to do with the execution of work, which was being done and dealt by the engineers on site.
What were the challenges?